Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Wednesday. So, let's get into it. In case you missed it, Vice President Kamala Harris was on the campaign trail yesterday where she held a rally in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, speaking to the crowd, she said the momentum in the presidential race is shifting and that Trump won't debate her despite him and his running mate, J.D. Vance, having a lot to say. Let's hear more from VP Harris's rally in Atlanta.
Because as the saying goes, if you got something to say, Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk. As president, I will bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump killed, and I will sign it into law and show Donald Trump what real leadership looks like.
Hey, I know everybody was, watching the Megan Thee Stallion performance and everything else, but I would encourage people to go watch the full 20-minute speech that Vice President Harris gave in Atlanta yesterday. I thought it was great. For everybody who wants to know, what her agenda is, she laid it out pretty plain yesterday.
Yeah. And shout out to the Hotties for Harris. Megan Thee Stallion has banded some Texans, Hotties for Harris. And that's the whole thing too. So as you heard in the audio, Vice President Harris went on to call out Trump on immigration and noted his criminal convictions, adding that she's been dealing with people like him for her entire career. Now, according to reports, Harris will campaign in 6 battleground states next week with her running mate, who she is expected to announce by August 7th. Now, of course, in the running is Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. They are those.
Yeah, what I'm starting to see in front of the camera is the Vice President Kamala Harris that so many of us know behind the camera, so it's a pleasure to see. And, when she was giving her speech yesterday, she was talking about how she wants to bring the middle class back, how she feels everybody should have the opportunity to start a small business, own a home, how she wants to secure the border. Go watch the 20-minute speech if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I thought the 20-minute speech was great. I think it's, like you said, I think we're starting to finally see who Kamala Harris really is, and I love it.
I will say that, some of the things that you mentioned, she's kind of been doing.
Talking about. That's right.
Yeah. Well, no, she's been doing
yeah.
as far as small businesses and stuff like that.
She has.
I won't get too much into that. In other news, former President Donald Trump is calling on the Jewish community to vote for him. And he recently called into a conservative radio show, Sid and Friends in the Morning, hosted by Sid Rosenberg, and criticized VP Harris and also came for her husband, second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. Let's hear how that conversation went.
She dislikes Jewish people and Israel more than Biden did. If you are Jewish, regardless of Israel, if you're Jewish, if you vote for a Democrat, you're a fool, an absolute fool.
And they tell me that this Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, Mr. President, is Jewish. He's Jewish like Bernie Sanders is Jewish. Are you kidding me? He's a crappy Jew. Yeah. He's a horrible Jew.
Yeah, you can, as you heard in the audio, you can hear the radio host referring to Doug Emhoff as a crappy Jew, and also former President Trump agreeing to that notion. Now, this comes as the conservative director, or the director of the conservative initiative known as Project 2025 is stepping down. This created the roadmap for the next Republican president to use their first 180 days in office. Now, Democrats have made it a campaign issue, repeatedly linking Project 2025 to former President Trump. Heritage Foundation. I mean, those are Trump's former people. But meanwhile, Trump has tried to distance himself from Project 2025. His campaign recently issued a statement saying reports of Project 2025's demise would greatly be welcomed, or would be greatly welcomed, rather. We'll see what happens with Project 2025. And X has suspended the account of White Dudes for Harris on its platform. The suspension came on Monday night after a group held a fundraising video call in support of Vice President Kamala Harris that attracted almost 200,000 people, mostly white men. One of the account managers shared a screenshot showing the White Dudes for Harris account was suspended for violating X rules due to user report. Now, the post goes on to say—
What were the rules? What did they violate?
they don't know for real, but the bottom line is you do know that X is owned by Elon Musk. So the post went on to say that we scared Elon Musk and Donald Trump Jr. so much tonight, they suspended our account and won't let us back in.
Wow.
Now, again, Musk owns X and announced his endorsement of former President Trump earlier this month. Now, that's really ironic because the reason why Musk got involved in Twitter X to begin with is because he didn't want things censored on these social media platforms. So for that group to then be quote unquote suspended or have their account suspended is rather ironic.
They raised a lot of money too, right? Like over $4 million.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I was going to say all of these calls are doing a big one for VP Harris. So yeah, it's good to see. I believe Lance Bass from NSYNC led the charge on that one.
Can't get no whiter than that. Can't find a whiter dude than that.
Jesus.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Morgan. That's Front Page News. We'll see you next hour.
Absolutely. I've got more.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some Front Page News. What's up, Morgan?
So there are new developments in the case of Sonya Massey, a Black woman who was fatally shot at the hands of former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson in Illinois. Now, newly released audio recordings show Grayson was reprimanded at another agency before this incident. In a 2022 review, Sean Grayson was asked about a traffic stop and pursuit in Logan County. The chief deputy told Grayson in the report, in which Grayson said he thought he was on a different street than he put down, included multiple policy violations and could amount to official misconduct. Recordings show the chief deputy telling Grayson, if we can't trust you, or if we can't trust what you say and what you see, we can't have you in our uniform. Now, the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, or Sheriff Jack Campbell, he is asking for forgiveness following this incident. During a Department of Justice community listening session, Campbell said his department failed Sonya Massey, and they also heard comments from members of the community as well. Let's hear that audio.
That's all she did. That's all she did was call for help. And I'm going to say something right now that I've never said in my career before, that we failed. We did not do our jobs.
I don't understand how you hire a volcano and don't expect for it to erupt.
Yeah, so of course, Massey was shot and killed on July 6th by that deputy, former deputy, who remains in custody after being charged with murder. Now, many speakers at that gathering called for Campbell's resignation, but he refuses to step down, saying he won't abandon the sheriff's office at this most critical moment.
Yeah, it's very hard to give someone forgiveness when a life is lost, like somebody is dead. Like, you can't just say, my bad. You can't just say, I'm sorry. Can you please forgive me? Like, you can't just bring that woman back. It's almost insulting for him to ask that. And who is he asking for forgiveness? Her family? Like, who? The public? Who is he asking for forgiveness?
This is the sheriff, not to be confused with the sheriff deputy who actually did the deed. Yeah. The sheriff is asking, and I believe it's just the family, the community. That's who he was speaking to at that listening session, which brings me also to my next point, switching gears. Lawmakers are clashing with the acting director of the Secret Service over the security failures that led to the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Homeland Security Committee Chairman Senator Gary Peters opened the meeting with comments, and Missouri Senator Josh Hawley pressed acting director Ronald Rowe to fire officials involved in securing the Pennsylvania rally where Trump was shot. Tensions boiled over during that congressional hearing. Let's hear more from that hearing.
By all accounts, this was an inexcusable security and planning failure. And we need to get all of the facts about what happened that day and how we can ensure an attack like this is never allowed to happen again.
I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly, sir. We have.
I mean, that whole thing was, it was laughable. And when I said that the day after, when we came back to work, people was like, oh, no, they still got him. No, that's not the point. They looked unorganized. They didn't look like an elite team. I mean, even to the point where when the president got back up, his head was exposed and he could have got shot again. I mean, it was just nasty. It was disgusting, and everybody needs to be fired. I'm even looking at one of the agents. She looked so confused. She was putting her gun in a holster, and she was taking her gun out the holster, then the gun was out the holster, and she didn't know what to do. It was unorganized and horrible for our elite secret service that's supposed to be protecting one of the most important people in our country. It looked horrible.
Well, the most important person.
That's one of the most.
The Secret Service is asking for forgiveness. They really want Donald Trump's heir to forgive them. I wonder if Trump can sue. I wonder if he can sue. I would think he would be able to sue, right?
Well, you can sue anybody for anything. I'm sure you can.
I mean, because they definitely failed him. But I was having a conversation with a security person, and they've worked with the Secret Service before, and they were telling me how horrible the Secret Service is. They was like, the Secret Service is not really good. And he was like, if you think about it historically, this is the third shooting. JFK got killed. Ronald Reagan got shot. Donald Trump got shot. He was like, they're really not good.
No.
He said the Secret Service, if you've ever worked with them, they're just not. They're not good. Basically.
It seems like they got lax. They got really relaxed and just let things happen. Like the fact that the guy had a drone over the thing,
but they don't ever expect anything is going to actually happen.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's clear whenever something does happen.
Oops.
Presidents get hit.
You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But the acting Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe, he did add that the agency has rolled out new procedures to prevent future security lapses, including the use of drones and vetting processes for security plans. Now, you talked about elite teams. Let's talk about our elite team, Team USA, women's gymnastics team, back on top of the world. They won gold yesterday for the first time since 2016. Simone Biles sealed the win with her floor routine. And she was relieved after finishing her vault routine. U.S. gymnast Suni Lee also shared comments saying they came determined to win gold. Let's hear more from Biles and Lee.
After I finished vault, I was relieved. I was like, whew, because at least no flashbacks or anything. I did feel a lot of relief. And as soon as I landed vault, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this.
Oh my gosh, this one it's so different. I mean, I feel like we had so much more fun this time, clearly. We were nervous we weren't going to be able to hear our floor music and all of that, but we really just embraced the moment and had fun with it. We all knew what the job was once we got in here, so it was not much, but we all had it in the back of our minds.
I mean, I
seen I love that performance yesterday. Shout out to also Jordan Childs and Jade Carey. They did good. And it's another baby girl. She the youngest one. But it was good to see Simone Biles, Jordan, and Suni not really, like, they tackled what they don't really do. You can tell that, bar is not really like their strong suit, but they still stuck their landings.
Yep.
But floor, they did their thing.
Did you notice, Jess, that it seemed like on a lot of the other teams, I watch the Olympics every year, but it seemed like I seen a lot more mess-ups this year from other squads. Yeah. People falling and falling on their face and falling out of bounds. I seen a lot more of that this year for some reason.
And the poor baby girl for Brazil, she busted over top her eyebrow twice, and she fell. Yeah. One of our girls fell too, but that was during the warm-up. So she was like, oh, right, yeah, I'm going to kill this. And they killed it.
Yep, sure did.
Yes, they did. This is the fourth gold medal for U.S. women, with the other three coming in at 96, 2012, and 2016. And for Biles, on an individual level, she is now breaking records. This is her 8th career medal overall. She said, don't worry about my edges, okay? I'm winning gold. And also in other Olympic events, the men's are set to, their final is set for today. Also, U.S. men's basketball team will be back on the hardwood today to face South Sudan for the top spot in Group C through 2 games. This is the first time the two countries have ever played in the Olympics. So make sure you download the free iHeartRadio app featuring hourly updates and highlights all throughout the 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
Simone really said, don't worry about my edges? People was worried about her edges?
Yeah, they were talking about her hair.
Listen, when I tell you, we are the dumbest country ever. Like, I'm telling you, we do you know where she at right now? What she just did for us?
She's the most decorated gymnast out there. The most decorated gymnast.
That's just hate, you know. And they say,
and we worrying about her hair.
Yeah, needless criticism. Needless criticism stems from jealousy and envy. That's just hate.
Yeah, it was.
That's
hate.
all.
Yeah, she definitely snatched some edges when it came down to that routine. So.
Like, what?
You win gold. Yeah, look at her edges, though. Shut your poor ass up.
Okay. I'm not worried about my edges being slicked back. I'm here to win gold. So, yeah.
That she did.
Don't play with her, okay?
All right. Well, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Be sure you check me out at Morgan Media and on, of course, the Black Information Network on socials at Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.